Hey, what's up guys, nothingwire.com, and we're at the launch of the brand new LG G2. Note that it's not Optimus G2, LG have dropped the Optimus long ago, so it's LG G2, and that's the beautiful phone. We're gonna give you a quick hands-off of the hardware. We'll talk about the feature specifications, and then we'll quickly browse the user interface a bit. Now, this has a 5.2-inch True HD IPS Plus display, but then the bezels are so thin they're almost non-existent, and you'd almost feel like this guy is not much bigger than 5-inch phone. In fact, this only just about a tad bigger than the Galaxy S4, just because of this very thin, almost non-existent bezels. So this has, of course, a full HD display, and it's an IPS Plus display. So unlike AMOLED, you do not have the pentile arrangement of pixels. You have the square arrangement of pixels that makes the pictures brighter. Now, on top of the screen, you have the earpiece here. You have the 2.1 MP front camera. You have the sensors and you have the proximity sensors and the notification LED lights. Below, there are no buttons. All buttons will be on the screen. Yeah. So that means that this guy probably has the biggest screen to form factor ratio in the industry right now. On the left side, you have the micro SD card slot there you can see. Yeah. On top, you have the IR blaster and a noise cancelling mic. There's absolutely nothing on the right side. And then below, you have the micro USB port here, the stereo speakers, and the 3.5mm jack. But it's the back side that really gets interesting here. Now, LG has totally overhauled their design to place the volume rocker and the power cum lock button on the back side. They say while you're using your index finger, you can simply operate both these buttons, and they feel that probably it's not needed to lift your finger from the back to come to the side to press your power key and the volume rocker key again. Now on top, you have the brilliant 13 MP back camera, which has optical image stabilization, that is lens shift. So your image stabilization does not happen via a software. It happens at the lens level and not after the image is formed. So that accounts for a much better image stabilization. Then you have the LED flash to accompany that, the LG logo. The back side is glossy plastic, so it will attract a lot of fingerprints. I guess this is a white model, and we suggest that you get the white model because you won't see the fingerprints much here. But we also have a black model out here where the fingerprints are generally very visible. It also has a nice dotted kind of a texture which strangely looks much like the Galaxy S4. However, all the plastic, the whole phone has a very premium feeling to it. It's certainly not the thinnest phone in the market, 8.9mm. We've seen much thinner devices, we've seen much thinner tablets in fact. However, the phone has a nice premium look and feel to it. As I told you, you see this nice little silver ring running around the sides of the phone. It feels great at hand just because the boat shaped back. Yeah. Cool. So all in all, a very bold attempt from LG, especially placing the buttons here. And I think people accept it. I really like it because it does not, I do not need to lift my hand to go from the back to the sides, and I guess I'll used to it, although in the beginning you might still fish for your power or the volume rocker on the sides or on the top. But eventually, if you keep using this, I think you might just get used to the easier reach of these two buttons. A little tip here, the volume up also doubles for your Q memo. So overall, a very good, solid, innovative design from LG. Yeah, so let's check out the user interface of the LG G2 right now. So I'm going to just tap twice and this guy will wake up, and I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to tap twice again for this guy to sleep. Very convenient. Now before going to the user interface, let's talk about the quick specifications so that you know what to expect from the software here. Now this guy is powered by probably the most powerful chipset today, a Snapdragon 800, which has a Krait 400 quad-core 2.3 gig CPU and an Adreno 330 GPU. that's very, very powerful. It also has 2 GB RAM to go with it. This guy will come in 2 variants, 16 GB and 32 GB. Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out the UI now finally. So unlock it and you see the user interface is very similar to that of the G Pro, but then the G Pro is powered by 4.1.2. So with 4.2.2 you would expect a few more features added. You have the home screens here, nice effect that we've seen in case of the G Pro as well. Very cool. You can add or remove your home screens from here, no biggie. You can delete any home screen from here. Again, the same very popular delete action there. Yeah, so you can long press to add your apps or widgets or wallpaper. Yeah, you have the app dock that's customizable, so you can have your own choice of most used app. You can see that edit button there, so you can just tap there and you can use any photo or any other icon's face as the face of that particular icon. There you see, now my phone's icon face changes. You can again long tap, leave, go to edit, and the first icon would be that icon's default face. So click it again, press OK, and we're back to our default phone icon face. Yeah. So you have the notification pane there. Again, much similar to the G Pro. You have the quick function toggle bar there. All of those. You can move one over another. There you see. And you have a lot of options to go with. Yeah. And then you have some quick apps here. You can set the brightness to auto. I won't just for the sake of this video, but that will help you save a lot of battery life. You can go to your settings straight away from here. So that's your full settings. So you have general, display, sound, and network. We'll start from the network. So there you have network. So again, G Pro like switches to switch on or off a function. You have share and connect. You have tethering. This guy of course supports NFC. So you can share your files via NFC wirelessly as well, which is much faster than Bluetooth or sharing via Wi-Fi. You have the sound profiles here, the volumes there, yeah, quiet mode and whatnot. Yeah. That's your display, your home screen setup. Yeah. So you can set your theme here, your wallpapers, live wallpapers, and all those. Yeah. Then your screen timeouts. I'm going to just increase the screen timeout a bit for the sake of this video. Then you also have a screen off effect. Now by default you would see it retro TV, which means that the moment you make this device sleep, it will give a retro TV kind of an animation. Now I can change that to black hole and it will give a black hole kind of an sleeping, go to sleep effect. You also have a fade out. Yeah. So there you see, just the screen just fades out. But of course, my all-time favorite is retro TV, which just switches off. That's cool. This wasn't in G Pro, by the way. Then you have Daydream. So when you have Daydream on, when this phone is on charging, you can have a selection of news or other kind of things appearing on the lock screen on the screensaver. Yeah, then you have smart screen, so that it can walk, it can read according to how your eyes position are. You have smart video, which enables pausing of video when you look away from the video. You have a notification LED and you can save all sorts of LED light colors. You also have an aspect ratio correction. Yeah. Then let's go to general and you again have a world of gestures. We won't go into too details here. We'll show you each bit of these features when this guy comes to our left for detailed hands-on. You have a one-handed operation. So you can go to, let's say, dial keypad, or when I have all this ticked, now when I want to dial, there you see it kind of shrinks and now it's all the more easier to type with one hand. However, this phone is not that big that you will face any problem operating it with one hand, but the one hand operation feature makes it that much more convenient. So let's do away with those. Then you have storage. So you can see, although this guy has 16 GB, but only about 10 to 11 GB is actually available for users. So you can see right now it's 9.94 GB available because there are a lot of pictures and videos. But you know, when you buy this phone new and you just set it up for the first time, you'd get about 10 odd GB of storage. It's powered by a 3000 mAh battery that LG promises will take you through 1.5 days easily. We'll have to see that in our in-depth review. Then that's your app manager. You can add only these 3 accounts, so no Facebook, no Twitter integration here, which is in a good way because that reduces bloatware. If you want to use Facebook, install it. You have cloud storage, and by the way, it comes with 50 GB box storage for lifetime free. You have a guest mode. Now this is pretty cool. Now once you have the guest mode enabled, you can set a pattern for the guest mode. Let's say we set it G for guest. Confirm. Yeah. So now once we lock it, let's wake it up. On the lock screen, if I unlock with L, it comes to my default, my own home screen, my own. So all apps, all settings, all installations are what I've done. Now, if I'm probably sharing this phone with someone else and I do not want them to access my private files, but at the same time I want them to use the phone, its basic features, all its features without getting access to my private files, I've set up the guest mode. All I need to do is guest, and now this guest mode won't have access to my private files and data that I've saved in the other mode. It's almost same like the guest mode in your PC. So that's again very convenient and new in the G2. So let's check out the main app drawer now. There are 3 pages of app drawer there, all horizontal scrollable. So you can view your apps by all these means, pretty usual. You can show large icons if you prefer. So small icons, wallpapers. You can also hide particular your private apps or something that you do not want to show people. You can also edit, place them anywhere you want or delete them. That's widget menu. There you can see, you can simply long hold on any and drag them to the home pages to apply that widget. Yeah. Now let's quickly check some of the apps now. Alarm clock, calculator, and all those stuffs are fine. We have the calendar. Yeah. And that's how you need to add an account to use that online calendar, of course, but that's how the new event looks. Pretty usual again. Yeah, so the camera. Now G2 boasts a lot about its 13 MP camera with an optical image stabilization. Now let's check out the lag first. So it's focus. So it takes some time in acquiring the focus, alright.
Something new.
So we'll shoot on static subject so that the focus is logged. Yeah, and you can easily toggle to video mode by simply dragging that button in, pressing this, and then your video starts recording. You can also click photos while recording videos there. Very convenient. Although those photos, I'm afraid, won't be as good as when you take a dedicated still photo. You can stop the video from here. Yeah. Let's quickly check out the settings. So that's your flash options, off, on, and auto. So that's your front camera. Yeah. And then you have a lot of modes here, live effect, and then kind of lot of fun stuffs, yeah. Let's go to the settings and see. You have cheese shutter, that is by voice. You have the brightness level, you have the focus, you have the image size there. So in 13MP, the aspect ratio is 4:3. Now if you want to shoot widescreen photos, then you'll have to come down to 10MP. There you can see in 10MP 16:9. Then your ISO option, white balance, auto all are fine. Yeah. Now let's say I'm in the video mode and I go to the settings. You can see audio zoom or not. So whether your audio will adjust according to the zoom that you're operating in. This is interesting. Now generally you see a phone clicking at or a phone recording at a maximum of 30 FPS. Here finally we have a 60 FPS video camera. Now 60 FPS is of course 2 times faster frame rate than 30 FPS. I'm not exactly sure whether it's 60 interlaced or 60 progressive. We'll have to see that in our video results. But even 60i is much better than 30p. So you have white level, color effects, you have geotaggings, you have volume. You can set the volume key to record, and that's about it, and that's about the camera. Getting one story from each section will charge. So if I get into this, you have the FM radio. It still does not work without plugging your earphones in. You have the gallery, and don't expect much change here from that of the G Pro. So you can long press them and delete or hide or share, or you can open them. You can see all those are arranged in stacks. Yeah. You can share. When share, you can share multiple items, yeah, and you can share by all these options by default. You can also delete or edit your stuff. There you see, you can also have your online album set up here. So that's gallery. Then the browser, so it's not connected, so I cannot show you the pinching, zoom and other areas, but I can show you the browser all the same. It's almost the same as on the G Pro. Again, you can force the desktop mode. There's the settings and all the usual settings that you see from a default browser on Jelly Bean. Now, as this OS is Jelly Bean, the browser does not support flash playback out of the box. If you want to play flash content here, you'll have to manually download the Flash Player APK from a third-party site, and then you will have to use a third-party browser like Firefox that supports it. So you can create folder, of course, all things, memo, a lot of other apps that also came with the G Pro. So I'm not gonna go ponder too much over them. I'll just quickly show you. That's the quick remote, so you can quickly set up your remote according to your TV, video player and other stuff, and that's the IR Blaster, you know, that will connect with those. Now the G2, one additional feature here is that even if this remote can't connect directly to the devices that you're operating, you can connect this remote to the remote of that particular device, and they in conjunction will operate beautifully. So the bottom line is that probably, as LG promises, that there is nothing that you cannot control with this. So all the other apps are pretty usual actually. Yeah, so that's about it about the user interface, the hardware, and we're going to tell you a lot more about this incredible handset when this comes to our lab for in-depth review. So for now, that's the very cool LG G2, the latest flagship. Thank you.